So it looks like Prussian Prince on Armenia has brought a bunch of Persian cavalry, which is kind of what we were expecting to see, and a lot of skirmishing. And I think he's in it for the long haul on this one, because if he engages this Boii sword rush anytime soon with the amount of sword followers and Celtic warriors and the heavy horse that he has on the field, I think he's going to be in pretty big trouble. So he's going to have to take his time, kind of pick this build apart from Llewlin, and that's not going to be easy. He has to take his time and make sure that he gets the engagements that he wants, make sure that he gets really good skirmishing done with his horse archers and his eastern archers, or he's just going to be in trouble, because this build from Boii is going to be a hard nut to crack, there's no question.
You might want to fix the overlay. I think you have Balor and Danko instead of Prince.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm going to take this time to kind of take a look at the builds real fast. Armenia has brought no infantry build. This is something that the Prussian Prince has been playing around with for a while. I've seen it on feud tournaments, but it doesn't seem to be very effective because it is very micro-intensive. This is a build that has 9 total foot skirmishers. He also has, I believe, 3 units of these... I believe these are indeed just normal horse archers, which is, again, a weird choice from the Prussian Prince. And then he follows that up with a very, very strong Persian cav core. So his infantry core is kind of like really shock cav. Persian cav and a few eastern cataphracts here and there. I think he has one of them, maybe. Yeah, one of them indeed. And then his general and a royal cataphract unit. So this is a build that's going to need to kite. It's going to need to surround. And Llewlin is going to have the task of pinning down these units with all his guys. You can see he has 4 units of spears on his flank, spread out really nicely. He's got 3 skirmishers of his own to try and pick out units that are isolated, and now he's pushing his own cav and his infantry forward. This battle is going to become rapid very, very fast.
Yeah, it is. And if he gets his heavy horse into these skirmishers, he can do a lot of damage. The good thing for Armenia here, as we see an engagement here in the middle, the Persian cavalry are going to run into the heavy horse. He might have to back out of that engagement, but he can take an engagement with Persian cavalry against heavy horse. Prussian Prince can. The problem is that if they get tied down and then the levy freemen come in to engage with the cataphracts or the shot cavalry as well, that can be a big problem.
This is super risky. The Prussian Prince is going to get clean charges on mobile infantry units. These are going to be devastating.
That was a huge charge from him. Oh my god, those are devastated.
Those charges brought down the units by 50 men each.
Celtic warriors are at half strength now.
That is insane. See, this is how you use shock cam in the current meta. Prussian Prince has got to be very proactive with his skirmishers, though. On the left, you can see he's starting to skirmish out. On the right, he's got 3 units of skirmishers that have literally not had the time to do anything in the battle because of how fast-paced this has been.
His Persian cavalry is getting caught, though. They're getting tied down, and the heavy horse are going to start tearing into them, and of course, there's some sword followers to back them up, but the good thing the Prussian Prince is doing right now, he has a bunch of archers that are right behind the cavalry, and they're shooting into that. And cavalry generally does get skirmished down pretty easily, so with some good focus fire, he could do a lot of damage there. And it looks like the levy freemen are actually going to engage some of the cataphracts over here on the left flank, and in the center, some of the cataphracts are actually already, no, the Persian cavalry are already breaking.
The Prussian Prince is just leaving these units completely isolated. There's too much action, and as I said in the beginning of this video, or this battle, it's very, very difficult to make this kind of build work because of just how micro-intensive it is.
It's very micro-intensive, yes.
Like, you need to be pulling units in and out. He just sees them now, and he's going to start moving them in slowly, but you can see he's lost cav here, he's lost cav here, he's lost cav here, and he's not really done enough damage. He still has 3 units of shock cav in his back lines now, but for Boii, there is the same number of cav on the field, ready to pounce on these skirmishers. And you can see these levies already getting...
They're already catching the eastern archers, yeah.
This is not looking too...
No, it's not. And his cataphracts are losing a lot of men. Some of them are at half strength. His general's at half strength now. A lot of his Persian cavalry is really depleted. Another really good charge into the sword followers, but I'm not sure. It's only a half strength unit, so it's not going to do as much damage as he wants to. He's going to have to play this really cautiously, but he's actually just gotten Persian cavalry into the Celtic skirmishers. That's important. Getting those off the field will be really good for him, but it might be difficult because they're really grouped up and there is some sword followers backing them up, so he might not be able to rat them all.
The single most important thing right now for the Prussian Prince to do is to get rid of the biggest threats for him on the battlefield, which are these units of remaining heavy horse. There are 4 of them on the battlefield. 1 of them is engaged over here in the middle, but 3 of them are starting to move around, and if they get around and into the back line of the Prussian Prince, he is going to be in so much trouble. One thing that is playing out for him, though, is the fact that he has all these skirmish cav, and I don't think I've seen him actually fire this game. It appears he's got them off of fire at will mode, so he needs to save those till the end game and start picking off those injured cab units. If he has all of his skirmishers left, maybe 2 of his own shock cab, he's going to be able to do the damage, and you can see now some charges coming in, but really nice.
And he did a good job killing those heavy horse. Those are going to route off the field, not do very much damage. Yeah. One thing the Prussian Prince is really good at doing, though, is making sure that he doesn't waste his ammo. One thing I saw he was doing when he was playing Panda was that he had fire at will off with his skirmishers, and this was just in a practice battle, but he had fire at will off, and he only shot at his opponent when their shields were facing the other way and when their backs were turned to face him. So he is very good at saving his ammo and making sure that his shots count. And he's going to have to do it this battle because there's a lot left on the field for Boii at the moment, and his general is already really hurt.
Here comes big charge from these heavy horse. They're trying to take out the remaining Persian cav from the battlefield. Prussian Prince needs to kind of keep his general away. None of his units are actually disciplined. His archers are going to start wavering and routing very quickly. You can see orange morale starting to pile up on this side of the battlefield. He is going to need to skirmish away from the red border, which is becoming closer and closer as he skirmishes out. But overall, I think he's doing much, much better than I expected initially.
Yeah, I think the engagement at the beginning was pretty hectic, and I was kind of surprised that he was able to pull out of it as well as he did, but he got some really good charges off with the Persian cavalry, which, unfortunately, running up to the front of sword builds on this meta with the fact that they can throw their javelins into the cavalry, and generally javelins have a bonus versus large, which equates to elephants or cavalry or chariots. So he did take more damage there than I'm sure that he wanted to, but I think he still has the tools on the field for him to win this battle. Again, it's just going to be an uphill climb, and a lot of his cavalry is very depleted, so he's going to have to make sure that he doesn't... Well, if he runs out of ammo, of course he's done here, because the skirmishing is everything.
Look at this Indy. He is going to catch those archers who have been kind of pushed to the end of the edge of the map, and this is something a rushing player needs to just stick to. And you can see Llewlin has been doing this. He has moved all the way across the map, and he is just pushing his opponent. He's losing lots of unit left and right, but he has the numbers to be able to pull this off. Prince now engaging with the heavy horse in a final engagement over here on Llewlin's right flank. If he manages to rout those units, his own skirmish cav will be free to roam the battlefield.
And they are going to win that fight.
They will win that fight. You can see his general needs to definitely survive. Here comes another big shock cap charge.
Right at the center.
He braces this time. Will the Prussian Prince commit? He does commit. And that brace charge is probably not going to do as much, but in comes a rear charge from his general, so there could be some more damage done here.
There's a really good charge from... There's only 27 men left in this Cataphract unit, but the thing about Cataphracts, they have massive mass and really high charge bonus. So when you get a... yeah, it just routed that sword faller from behind. That's beautiful. And bringing the second wind general, strategist general, so important with Armenia or any Cataphract fashion, because you have to be able to trample continuously and then refresh the fatigue on your units with second wind. So one thing about this patch is when you use trample, you automatically go to full exhaustion. So having an ability like Second Wind is really important.
Look at this over here. The Prussian Prince has got 6 of his archer units out of that. Somehow, miraculously, he gets all of his 9-foot units out of that fight. He's used his cav excellently, and now he just needs to desperately kill the remainder of all these heavy horse, which are now down enough in numbers that continuous volleys from these archers will kill them. The question now for the Prussian Prince is, can he maintain the level of play that we've seen from him right now?
And he's playing really well right now because he's bringing this back.
He is bringing this back so well, it looked dim for him, but here he is. He's coming in, and I think those 2 units of skirmish cav now are going to start firing at these units, and you can see he's again targeting units that are weak enough so that his archers can finish them off. I don't know if it's the best choice to be targeting this levy with that many volleys from that many units. You can see he's actually doing it with only 2 of them. and now he's gonna pull back forward and try to pick up these hurt units.
And this other Celtic warrior by itself is going to get isolated and killed. One thing that I think Llewlyn's did a really good job of this battle, though, is keeping his army relatively compact. There have been a couple of units that got isolated, like that Levy Freeman, only 220 or 240 talent, so not a big deal. And this sword follower was very depleted. But besides those two units, he's done a really good job of making sure that units don't get isolated and completely surrounded by skirmishers and cavalry. And he's kept a relatively compact line and made sure that his guys, his heavy horse, could always reinforce any infantry unit that got engaged. It's going to depend now whether Prussian Prince runs out of ammo or not, and we can't see the ammo counters at all, so whether he has the ammo, and I think he's done a good job so far of saving it, making sure he only shoots at units when he can shoot them in the back or the flanks. If he makes sure that he does that and doesn't waste any more ammo, I think he's going to have enough here to finish off Boii, but again, it's going to come down to his micro and whether he wastes his ammo or not.
Oh, absolutely. But I think the Prussian Prince has enough skirmishers in this army to be able to save this ammo to the end of the game. You can see now he's targeting spear units instead of sword units. I'm not really sure what he's doing with his own skirmish cap. If I was the Prussian Prince now, I would be sending my skirmish cap around the rear here and trying to get into the backs of these heavy horse to save the ammo on these sword units. Like, there's lots of infantry left for Llewlin. Sure, they're all hurt, but like, you're gonna need to stop and fire. Most of these archers are now either winded or active, so they're not going to be as fast. And Llewlin doesn't really have heavy infantry. He's got a medium infantry.
Well, he does have an O-Sword general at full strength.
And that helps.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
That helps a lot, yeah, indeed.
That could absolutely be the deciding factor in this game because they have very high armor, very resistant to cav charges, and especially because all of his cavalry is very depleted. And shooting O-Sworn to death is difficult, especially when they're at full strength. They haven't taken any HP damage at all this game, and if I can praise Llewlin for one thing right now, it's absolutely keeping his O-Sworn in the fight, or making sure that they didn't engage anything and making sure they didn't lose any HP, because with his general alive and at full strength, I think that's a really big deciding factor in this game, and we'll see if that actually plays out the way I thought it would. But really good charge here from the horse archers into the Levy Freeman, just get them off the field on the right flank. And looks like there are still some sword followers, of course, chasing. But again, whether he runs out of ammo here is going to be the main factor.
We are still getting some comments about the audio levels not being super great, so we'll tend to that at the end of this game, guys.
Yeah, we'll figure that out after this.
Yeah. So I think so far the Prussian Prince definitely is looking. He's looking solid, but at the same time, it's the kind of situation where you don't really know. You don't really know because there's, as you said, no ammo markers. We don't know if these units are out of ammo or not. And here comes the heavy horse. They're going to start doing some charges against these units. The Prussian Prince probably leaving that one unit alone because it may be out of ammo. And you can see he is going to be successful.
And killing one more heavy horse, yeah. So that's probably a good trade for him at this point. It was a very depleted heavy horse. And it depends how much ammo he had left. So I can't really pass judgment on that or not. But he was able to get one heavy horse off the field, and those are the most important units besides the general on the field for Boii at the moment. So getting those off the field, very important, and he just traded one archer for one very depleted heavy horse. So not necessarily a bad trade.
Just the micro from the Prussian Prince in this battle has been absolutely phenomenal. Like, this has been just so responsive. He has been moving units in and out, stopping with others, commanding with others, taking fire with others while retreating on the other flank. He has not allowed himself to get caught. Like, we saw it over here before, he looked very, very susceptible to getting caught, but now he's doing it again. It's coming very close. That O-Sworn's general working really close to that one unit of horse archers, but again, the Prussian Prince is on top of it. You can see he's actively retreating on this flank, while he's putting up some kind of resistance here, and he's firing into units that are isolated on the side of Llewlin's formation, which is the way you should be doing it with the skirmish army. So
he's going to get some rear charges with the horse archers on this sword follower, get them off the field, and balance bar has started to shift in Prussian Prince's favor. So
this is incredible.
He's doing everything he needs to do right now. It's really good. He's going to put the sword followers in a shield wall, however, and they're actually surviving longer than I thought they would. And they're going to actually start killing the horse archers.
This is bad for the Prussian Prince. This is so bad. Here comes the O-Sworn general. It's actually in range to give aura to that sword follower, but the sword follower is just going to rout.
Oh my god, a javelin throw. Those horse archers are basically off the field now.
Oh, but his general turns his back, and the Prussian Prince.
We'll see if he can take advantage of that.
point blank into these Oathsworn, already down to almost 100 men. Look at the
Really good volleys. Really good volleys. That's what he needs to do. If he can keep doing that and keep making... The problem is now he doesn't have a lot of cavalry left on the field, so making the Oathsworn turn their flank, and that was definitely a mistake from Llewlin, is going to be difficult. But if he can get more volleys like that, the HP damage is starting to rack up and they're starting to lose a lot of guys.
There is 2 units of heavy horse. 2 units of heavy horse are left on the battlefield here. 1 unit of shot cap for the Prussian Prince. It's 7 units, or 7 dudes of Persian cav mounted lancers. So, again... For the Prussian Prince, he's coming close again to another red line here. Let's see if he can get away from it. He is using his horse archers here pretty peculiarly. Again, he's being very risky with them, getting around the side, trying to kill those Levy Freemen. But again, look at this. His main line is still falling back, and he has just been on top of it.
I think those horse archers, the second they engage anything, are going to rout. They're wavering right now, and the general's not dead, I don't believe, but... They are going to rout as soon as they get near melee. I would assume they get anywhere near melee combat. And I believe, even if they're not out of ammo, they really can't do very much damage with their ammo at this point because there are so few men left in the unit. So I think they're going to just be a distraction force, and we'll see if Llewlin falls for it. If he puts them behind the Oathsworn and tries to make the Oathsworn turn their flank again, he can get some really devastating volleys off. And again, I think if he kills the general here for Boii, which isn't going to be easy because, again, they're still mostly full-strength unit. But if he's able to do that, this battle's going to be his, I think. The balance bar is kind of misleading at the moment, though, because, again, the balance bar will only shift once the skirmishers run out of ammo and they become a relatively useless unit. So, even if they have 1 volley left, the balance bar could, like, dramatically shift once they run out of ammo.
Is going to get caught here for the first time.
He's not going to lose very many here, I don't think. I could be wrong. If he's able to pull out. Because they are faster than the Oathsworn.
He sent both of his horse archers to this 1 unit of heavy horse, which is now going to just be free to kill that Eastern Slingers that was at almost full strength. That is huge for the Prussian, for Llewlin. But the Prussian Prince does have sort of like a special weapon. His general is a Royal Cataphract with 26 men left. Sure, it's exhausted, but it's going to be able to hopefully scare away that heavy horse.
You can see how sticky, they're going to be able to pull out, but the cavalry is very sticky on this patch, and they actually had trouble in disengaging from the Eastern Slinger. So he's going to be able to get away. They are faster than the Cataphract unit because they're super heavy shot cav, so he's going to be able to get away from that engagement. But if that heavy horse still might rout if he's able to... Okay, no, they're going to be able to get away. They're fine, they're fine.
They're going to be able to get away. That
they're both wavering, though.
Very careful.
Both heavy horse are wavering. If those rout, it's going to be really bad for Boii.
But look at this, the morale for the Prussian Prince's
it's starting to lower as well.
Flank is lowered. But again, he is setting up some marvelous concaves here. And look, he's going to actually throw his own
Persian cav in there. Just tie them down. And they're going to turn their flanks. Which means that their back's exposed. If they get some good volleys off here, this could do so. Okay, he's going to pull it. But they lost a lot of men there. They're down to half strength now.
Oh, man, here comes the... Oh, my God. From all angles, those Oathsworns are in trouble. Prussian Prince is going to need to fall out with 1 unit and leave the rest firing, and he does that. Llewlin is chasing from this flank, but it's starting to look like the Prussian Prince is going to win this.
It is. Again, it's going to depend on whether he runs out of ammo, and I can't stress that enough because it's everything. Like, he only has skirmishers left on the field except for his Royal Cataphract. And actually, if I was him right now, I'd definitely be sending that into the Sword Follower into the rear of that because he could take that off the field. Right now, he's microing. Okay, there we go. He's going to engage that. Oathsworn is super depleted at this point. Heavy horse over. Both heavy horse are going to rout from this. I don't think they're going to be able to rout these Eastern Slingers. There are only 3 left. Yep, they shattered.
Both of them.
They shattered.
The battlefield. But there is 1 unit of these sword followers that is going to try to get into the archers or the slingers, the Royal Cataphract of the Prussian Prince, and there goes second win for the.
And battle rhythm. He's gonna trample charge the Oathsworn. This is gonna decide the battle right here. This is gonna shatter the Oathsworn, I think, or at least deplete them to where they're no longer good.
But it is. Is it too late? He does drop battle rhythm for his own Oathsworn. Llewlin does, and that actually minimizes the damage for a little bit. But
yeah, and.
The chain route is coming.
Yeah. I think a general might have just died. I'm gonna look and see if there's a morale debuff for the general, but yeah, general died. No, general recently died. Boii's dead. This is over. Mass route for Boii. Well played to Prussian Prince. Extremely well played.
GG.
Great game. Great game.
Oh my God. This is what I was hoping we would see in this tournament. someone bringing a build that people are not trying because of how mechanically difficult it is.
It is very
And
difficult.
someone pulling it off like the Prussian Prince.
He kited so well that game.
build. Oh my god, that was incredible. There were 5 units of cav from Boii in that game, and somehow, without a single spear or infantry unit, the Prussian Prince takes game 1 of this series. Wow. Absolutely incredible.
Really well played. And I think both players did what they needed to do. I think Boii and Llewlin certainly played well that game. His use of Levy Freeman, very good. He kept his line compact. He didn't let too many charges get off, but at the end there, he wasn't able to kill enough skirmishers with his heavy horse to make it really count, and Prussian Prince did a really good job saving his ammunition and making sure that he had enough at the end there to kill the Oathsworn, and that trample charge combined with the Oathsworn turning their flanks and letting some skirmishers get their shots off, it ended up changing that battle. And when his general died from the trample charge from the cataphracts, that was the end. It was going to be a shattered army from that point on.
Yeah. Every single unit, if you look at the kills and losses for both of these players, you can see that almost every single unit that was deployed by the Prussian Prince in this battle actually killed someone on the other side, which is incredible.
Yeah.
For an army like this, of low-cost, cheap skirmishers, it is incredible. Absolutely well played by the Prussian Prince. It's going to be interesting now to see what approach Llewlin takes in picking his own faction, and we'll see how the Prussian Prince responds. We're going to go to an interim screen, and we'll be right back. Elephant action. Oh yeah! Look at them wearing their cool little shirts, or whatever this shit is. Elephant versus elephant is an interesting fight indeed. Oh no! Poor elephant. So yeah, the elephants are fighting each other. They're having a fun time, but overall, Point Man isn't doing too well now. You can see that there's a lot.